Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
It is another episode of the BM Show. I have to start this out, Ben, by saying any blooms that are tuning into the main show, hell yes. These 2 weeks have been awesome. And I watched both of the performances, even though it's pretty much the same songs. Still, I was sitting there at work with my computer on, getting yelled at by customers in my ear, but enjoying the show. And that made it all better. So, any blooms tuning in, keep rocking Beanie. Just gonna say that.
Well, I'm glad that it helped you get through your work day, Mike. I'm just okay. So it's WrestleMania weekend, and we recorded this a little earlier than we put it out. But right now, as we are recording this, one of the matches I've been looking forward to, of Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, is going on. And it literally was about to start right when we were hitting the time for me to jump into this so we could start recording. And I'm like, no, I really want to see this match. So I have it playing as we're doing the show because the show must go on. And this match, I think, is about to end because they just had a big run-in going on.
What do you have it playing on?
On my TV.
Oh, so I can't it's not like live on YouTube or anything right now?
It's on ESPN Unlimited.
Oh, I don't have that then. I was gonna say I'll even tune in then and be ready.
These women, okay, so Jade Cargill, I saw her live the first time I went to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
She is like basically like the female version of Andre the Giant. This woman is like but she's also beautiful at the same time. So she's like this big muscular woman who looks like she could be from the Amazon, but she's also like insanely attractive, and she's very she's got this strong will, is what it looks like, because she went from not being very good at this to becoming pretty competent at it. So as long as you have her in there with somebody who's also like who themselves is really good, she comes off really good. Because she has this whole thing of she's the Goliath. But in this match, she's taking on Rhea Ripley. Now, Rhea Ripley, when she started off in NXT, she had blonde hair. She looked like a cheerleader. She went and turned her entire look around because there's a million of girls who look like theirs. She dyed her hair black. She went and she buffed herself up. She's got tattoos up and down her arms. Not really up and down her arm, but all over her body. She got tattoos all over the place. She's got but she goes by one of her names is Mommy. At one point, she is the coolest person you ever met type of person. She's just insanely cool, and everybody loves her. Like they did a show in Australia where she's from, and the freaking place blew up when she came out. So. And so these two are these are two gigantic, it's basically the Irresistible Force meets the Immovable Object, which I can't really see using their Irresistible Force anymore because apparently that's a team name now. But it's these two gigantic names in women's wrestling in WWE right now facing off against each other, and it just happens to start when we need to record.
So Ben, let me ask you the $1 million question right now.
Yeah.
With those two,
Rhea Ripley just won, by the way. Sorry for the spoiler for the show that happened last night, folks.
This is an important question that's going to make or break this episode.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, and who is the other person?
Jade Cargill.
Who?
Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Do you wish that Jade Cargill was a piece of white bread, Rhea Ripley was a piece of white bread, and you were the meat in the middle?
Oh, well, for one of them, the white bread wouldn't really fit them, but yeah, they're both attractive women. Yes.
There you go. So now we all know.
But you gotta be in WWE. They got this level of attractiveness that most of the women hit, anyways. Like they don't, For the men too, I guess. I don't know. I don't really judge the men, but apparently from what I've seen and heard from some women fans, like the men are also very attractive. So there's a level of attractiveness you need to there's a bar you have to hit in order to get a job there, apparently.
Mhm.
So they ain't no got no scrubs. They're like just at one point they had this one guy. He was like Vince McMahon's fuck buddy almost in a way. They both tag teamed on these girls. They did like this is how disgusting it was. And he would hire people, he would hire women out of the lingerie catalogs. Like he would give two shits of whether or not these women had any athletic ability whatsoever. And most of them didn't. They had to get trained. They were, models first, wrestlers second.
Well, Ben, you've got hobbies. I got hobbies. We all got hobbies, and that's
But
what it comes down to.
yeah, but it's like this is supposed to be the major leagues of this stuff, right? You don't find a baseball player who's playing for the Yankees because, he just likes to hit the ball every once in a while.
Hmm. I got a more important question.
Well,
Where's my phone?
I don't
I don't
know.
know where I left it. I got to step away for a minute, Ben. So just in case there's like an emergency call, I have no idea where my phone is right now. I have no idea how long I've been away from it. And that's, that's kind of crazy if you think about it, because like if this was 1990s, who would give a crap? But like now, 2 minutes away from the phone, anything can happen.
That's
So,
true. That's true. So while you're looking for the phone, I will talk about the fact that I bought a Super Nintendo. I think I talked about this last week. I got the Super Nintendo Junior in. I now have a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo ready to go. I have nothing to play on them. I ordered an EverDrive from EverdriveMe, which I believe is the official store of Crix, maybe. And I haven't heard a thing from them since April 3rd when I got my receipt. And I'm waiting to hear when this thing is going to be sent out. I did send them a request asking to cancel it, and I'll just pay an extra $30 and get it from another means. I haven't heard a thing from them. So if anybody in the audience, the the people who run this, were they killed in some bombing? I don't know. People don't we don't hear in the US, if you're listening to us internationally, we don't hear much of what happens in Ukraine anymore because everything's happening in Iran. So that it so the news cycle is just not paying attention to what's going on over there anymore. So if there was a major bombing offensive that just happened to happen right after I pinned them, I'd like to know. Because I'm like baffled, and I know that it takes forever to get to me, but usually you hear some kind of communication at this point. Um, Speaking of communication and not knowing what the hell is going on, anybody knows what's going on with the Savannah Banana tickets? I got told that they had the lottery already, and I'm like, well, I never got an email about that. And they've emailed me like once a month repeatedly over something or other. And I'm like figuring that I should be getting some kind of email on this. Wow, how long did it take for him to find his phone?
I just had to look up Savannah Banana.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just
And
going. I'm like, will this guy just like let me stop?
no, I was no, I've been here just listening to you. I got back when you were talking about how it was nothing in the news about Ukraine. So I've been here a bit. I did find my phone, and I have no drama. There were no messages, so I have no drama, but that also means I have no love. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but at least I know that I don't have to deal with anything. And I'm happy about that.
Dude, Brock Lesnar retired last night. How the hell did I miss? Or was that earlier today? I missed that. Brock Lesnar at some point apparently retired, which I kind of take as bullshit, but
Mm.
he's acting like he's so touched. Oh, I can't believe I'm leaving my heart here. Like, dude, this was a paycheck to you. Nobody cared less about this business than you.
I have no idea who that is, but I have a feeling it's about wrestling.
He's a guy who used to be a UFC champion at one point, but he started off, he was a football player, then he went to WWE, and then he went to UFC, and then he went back to WWE. And he is some people's favorite wrestler. He's not like a horrible person, but he really just treats it like it's a paycheck, which probably is why he's had such a good career. Like he's only had like one time he really got injured. He did some kind of moonsault and he landed right on his head.
Mhm.
And he's a big dude, so that's a lot of weight.
I'm so out of like all wrestling, the ultimate fighting, I don't know anything. All I have to say
Well,
is,
just know
hell
it's all
yes,
the same company
Osaka.
now. What's that?
I love you, Osaka.
It's all the same company now, and it's all like it's so corporate. There's so many commercials everywhere. I muted it, dude. This is unbelievable. I'm in a commercial break, so I hit mute to mute the commercial break. They made me sit through a 5-second ad because I muted it
Mhm.
before they put me back into the commercial I was already watching.
Ouch. Yeah, that sucks.
So they penalized me for muting the ad.
Yep. Let me tell you, they know they're not going to let you get around that.
Oh, it's awful. It is just awful.
Matt was over here today, and he was mentioning that, and I don't know about this. There's a Lord of the Rings TV show. I had no idea. It's on
Oh,
Amazon Prime,
It's on Amazon Prime, and it's
and
either really, really good or it sucks, depending on who you're asking.
so, but he mentioned that in order to watch it without ads, you do have to pay.
Yes,
And
Amazon Prime charges an additional ad-free thing now. It used to be completely ad-free, and then like last year they introduced a new tier for $3 a month at that point. Now it's like $5 or $6 a month. And what that does is it gets rid of the commercials for you. And it's like there's not much to watch on Prime, in
yeah,
my opinion. So I don't even bother with it. But
see, for me, it's like I don't want to pay to get around ads, but then I don't want ads, so it all comes down to I just don't watch.
mm,
So,
yeah, I some stuff it's like, yeah, it depends on what it is, of whether I'll go and sit through ads or not. Like if it's a program I really enjoy, or something I've been really looking forward to, I'll go and I'll sit through the ads.
mhm,
But normally like I have this Plex server. That's one of the reasons I got the Plex server, was because I
mhm,
knew that the ad-free prices were gonna go higher and higher and higher and higher. That was like $20 a month for most of these services to get them ad-free.
mhm,
And
yeah,
Peacock, I'm like, dude, they raised the price of Peacock. They got rid of most of the stuff I would want to watch on there, and then they brought the price up.
mhm.
So I'm like,
I mentioned something to Matt. Like, there's a TV series that's based off an author that I really like, and the TV series is called The Dark Winds. And I told him I have no idea what it's on. While Matt was over here today, I pulled up the trailer for the Lord of the Rings show and watched it, knowing that I can watch it since it's on Amazon. And I figured I'd pull the one for Dark Winds, not knowing where it was. I figured it was probably Netflix or something.
yep.
And it's on, like, I think it was AMC. And I'm like, is AMC free or do you have to pay for it? Oh, you got to pay for it. And then I'm thinking, man, now we're back to this whole thing with all of these streaming channels that is just out of control. And I just can't imagine that somebody out there, first off, they have to have like all these channels. So they're paying a ton of money. But then because they have all these channels, they're not watching much of it. So it's kind of like the more channels you have to get, the more you're screwing yourself, both financially and chronologically.
Well, everybody got out of cable because yeah, Netflix killed the market for cable, and then they're helping to kill the market for streaming too. People, they're saying like the young people are getting into physical media collection, is what I'm hearing. Of
Mhm.
course, I haven't seen it in person,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm hearing. And I'm like, well, if it's true, well, they picked the worst time to do it because the prices are all going to just start going up because a lot of companies are getting out of it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, because I have wrestling on right now. I'm thinking about it. Wrestling media. If you see any wrestling DVDs, just
Mhm.
know that they're all out of print.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single one of them. They're all out of print. They've been out of print at least since 2023, probably even earlier than that, depending on what disc it is. So it's
Well, I
like,
mean, there's nothing wrong with physical media unless you have a small house.
yeah, I'm running into a space issue. Yeah, that's like I have to like put in that's one of the reasons I use the Plex server is so I don't have to have these things all ready to go. I can put
Mhm.
them away and
Mhm.
still be able to watch them.
Yeah.
Um, but like the drawback is I still then have to put them away someplace where it's temperature controlled,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $30 a month for a storage unit. So we
Mhm.
have to find places around the house where this stuff can go.
Yeah.
And yeah, you run out of space real soon, real quick when you have like 2,000 discs to put some.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I just got the bookcase and that thing's darn well full.
Yeah.
I've got about 1.5 shelves left, and it's like brand new bookcase. So Matt was like suggesting, oh, you might want to look into so and so, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. I gotta stick with what I got because I'm
Yeah.
also a completionist. And that's a problem. Is that I mean I've got when we're talking about Dark Winds, I've got the whole Hillerman collection for that series, including the books by his daughter too that took it over when he died. So I'm a completionist. I want to read it all. So I got to be like a selective completionist. And actually, you know what? That is why we have a topic next month that you don't even know about, Ben, because it
Favorite
just
authors?
what's that?
Is it favorite authors? Because we pushed it
No,
off.
it's not.
Okay.
It's our end of the month topic that was based off of games, which is basically the topic is, well, I would get into this, except I looked at how big the library is.
Hmm.
So that one's going to be fun. That just came to mind that we're doing that. Well, of course, you're going to hear it again next week because next week is the week that we go over all our topics for May. Yay.
Yep. May,
So,
the entrance to summer.
so Ben, I think we're going to get sort of started here. Getting to our main topic, but before we have kind of a subtopic.
Yes.
And that subtopic is Chuck.
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 What up, Chuck?
What up? Yep. Let's chuck it out. So yeah, so recently we all know that Chuck Norris passed away.
Yeah. It was sad. We were trying to get him. We did this series called Cameo at the church, and he was our number one guy that we really, really wanted. We tried for him 3 times, and every time he rejected us. And each time he rejected us, he gave us more and more detail of why. He was like basically telling us like you got basically telling us like stop bothering me, or this is why I don't, whatever. And
Is
then
it
he
like the first rejection was just roundhouse kick, and then the second one was roundhouse kick, roundhouse punch, and the third one is roundhouse, short, jab, fierce,
That's how it
sonic boom.
felt. That's how it kind of felt with the rejection, especially since like it takes forever and like we're on a time crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that series cost a lot of money.
All right, so
Way
what we're
more than
gonna
it
do
should
is
have, but we went way over budget on that one. But it's a one-time thing. I don't think we'll ever do it again, or we do it again, it's going to be years down the road.
Mhm.
Um. So yeah, Chuck Norris. Yeah, he passed away. That was a shocker.
Yeah,
A lot of these celebrities, you don't even know they're sick, and then all of a sudden, like, they just pass. Like Norm Macdonald, like nobody knew he was sick until he passed away. So it's
yeah, yeah. So Ben pointed out that YouTube put I don't know if all of them, but a lot of Chuck Norris movies up for free.
yes. Yeah, I don't
So
know. Did you get ads when you watched yours?
no, I didn't.
Okay, that's cool because like I have premium YouTube, so I figured that's why I didn't have any ads. But I guess there's no ads at all then.
So we each picked a big popular Chuck Norris movie, and we decided to watch it separately. So this time you are not going to get the banter back and forth of how Ben's wrong and I'm always right. Instead, you're going to get a review of how Ben's wrong, and then you're going to get a separate review of how I'm right.
Yes. What? No. Huh? Wait a minute.
You're wrong, Ben.
I
So
am wrong.
okay. So you ready to get into the? No, I got a question. We didn't ask this. So for the synopsis, you're obviously doing the synopsis for yours. Are you doing the synopsis for mine?
I figured I would.
Okay, good, because you're like the voice.
Yeah,
You're like you should start out every synopsis was in a world. All right, you
Every
ready?
single
You
one of them.
ready to get it started?
Yeah, in a world where every force is a delta.
Okay, so let me get the screen sharing and we'll get rocking and rolling. And go.
I'm waiting on this. There it is. Delta Force is a 1986 American action film directed by Menahem Golan. Oh, I'm going to start this from scratch. Delta Force is a 1986 American action film starring Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. The film is loosely inspired by real-life airline hijack. Inspired by. There's no in there. I actually read it the way it the way it's written, and it's written in bad English. What?
Don't leave any of that out for the short. In fact, don't even leave the line where I say don't leave any of that for the short in.
The film is loosely inspired by a real-life airline hijacking during the 1970s. The story follows an elite U.S. military counterterrorism unit dispatched to resolve a hijacking crisis after a commercial airliner is seized by terrorists. Major Scott McCoy, portrayed by Norris, plays a key role in the mission, which escalates into a large-scale rescue operation in the Middle East. The film is noted for its patriotic tone, explosive action sequences, and Norris's stoic performance. It was a commercial success for Canon Films and spawned several sequels, though Norris only returned for the first follow-up. So this movie is just, I watched this right after Chuck Norris died. So this was like a couple weeks ago. And this one here is just, so this plane gets, like I said, they gets hijacked by a bunch of Islamic terrorists, and it's got George Kennedy in it. Now George Kennedy is a priest, and he's on some trip with a couple of the nuns from, I guess, his church or whatever. And there's a scene where the terrorists capture, they take all the people who are Jewish. They look through everybody's passport to find out who's Jewish or who might be Jewish. And they gather them all together and they put them in the front of the plane in the first class because they're gonna like probably execute them or whatever. They end up using them as hostages later, but that's not besides the point. George Kennedy's character becomes like the one of the unsung heroes in the movie, where he walks to the first class area and they go and say, "Why are you walking up here? You are a priest. You are not Jewish." He goes, "If Jesus was a Jew, then I'm a Jew." And it had to be one of the dumbest but funny in a way moments of the movie. It's like, what? Chuck Norris is in it, but barely. It's a Chuck Norris movie, but you think he's like only in it for like a little, like it's just like maybe 30 or 40% of the film, and it's just him doing cool stuff. He's like the guy who they're all waiting for. He's the veteran who is they hope they tried to reactivate, and he gonna come? He'll come, and they're all waiting around for him. And the other one of the commanding officers like, "Were you guys gonna move on with this?" He's like, "Yeah, give me a second. We're waiting for him." It's like, waiting for who? And then all of a sudden you hear a motorcycle coming, or I think it was a motorcycle, and he comes in on a motorcycle, and you're like, "You're here," and like, "I got your gear already packed up. Let's go," because they knew he was gonna make it. And it's got a lot of these dumb tropes, tropes that you see in these movies where he's like the hero who comes in and saves the day, but it's mostly about the team. It's kind of an ensemble thing. It's not a bad movie if you go in knowing what to expect. You have to know that this is going to be a low budget action film. It's a Chuck Norris film. Do not go into this expecting this to be the greatest movie you've ever seen. It is not an Academy Award winner. It's just a fun movie with guns. I give it a thumbs up.
All right. Yeah, I've never seen it. So maybe that's something I should eventually get to.
I mean, they're all free on YouTube, and apparently without commercials, even if you don't have YouTube Premium. So
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about watching it, but I just was like, after watching mine, I'm good with just watching one Chuck Norris movie for now.
I kind
Maybe I
of felt
should
the
change
same
that.
way because I tried to watch yours and I got only a little bit into it, and I was like,
Well, let's talk about mine.
Sidekicks is a 1992.
Wait, hold on, stop. I forgot to change the picture.
Oh God, dude, who cares?
I do. All right, do it now.
Sidekicks is a 1992 American action comedy film directed by Aaron Norris, starring Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis. The film centers on Barry Grabowski, a physically weak and asthmatic teenager who escapes into vivid daydreams where he teams up with his hero Chuck Norris in martial art adventures. Encouraged by his teacher, Barry begins karate training in real life, ultimately gaining confidence and entering a tournament. Blending fantasy sequences with a coming of age narrative, Sidekicks explores themes of self esteem, perseverance, and hero worship, and has since gained a modest cult following, particularly among fans of Norris in his early 1990s martial arts films. See, that one I aced. The first movie, I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, you just gotta. It takes practice, Ben, and you just got enough practice off that first one to nail the second one.
That's right. That's right. Well, Mike, go ahead. What did you think of Sidekicks?
Okay, so first thing I want to mention is the one thing that's kind of, I kind of want to say creepy, but it's not creepy. It's just dark. Is that both of the main characters, Chuck Norris and Jonathan, what was his name again?
Brandis?
Jonathan Brandis, are both not alive anymore. So, and before the show started, I looked it up, and it turns out they found him hanging in his Los Angeles apartment with no suicide note. So, Ben, how do you feel about that?
That's very suspicious.
It is very suspicious, and it kind of made me think of how I think it was the lead singer from Soundgarden and the lead singer from Linkin Park were both found dead hanging off the doorknob of their bathroom door or something like that with a suicide note. And conveniently, they were both very much involved, I think, in the heads of a organization for locating missing children or abused children. So I don't mean to conspiracy theorize, but there's your conspiracy for the day.
Okay.
Now, getting to the movie, dude, this movie hurts. This movie absolutely hurts to watch. It's flat out embarrassing to watch a lot of this because, this is like high school, but he's being referred to as Barry Wary. No one's going to say Barry Wary.
If it was your nickname since you were like in third grade, maybe.
I think by high school they would have changed it.
If it still bothers them, that's what it is. If it still bothers them, then that's still that they keep using it.
But and another thing that just disturbs me is that he's having these like daydreams of being Chuck Norris's sidekick, saving his teacher, and his teacher is dating his dad. And that's in a way just kind of creepy to me.
Is that in the fantasy or in real life she's dating the dad?
In the real life. Now, I don't know exactly when they actually start dating, but you find out they're dating. But as much as I'm going to say it's hard to watch this movie, I can't help but enjoy it. And I don't know why. I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is such an embarrassing movie, but I love it because it does that so bad, it's good. And I think the strongest part of this whole movie is the actor who does the bad karate sensei, because he does that act so over the top. You just want to slam your head into the table and break through your table. But it also at the same time is going to make you die laughing about how bad it is. So now I did find it interesting. Like you get to his dojo, and I think they had like the flag of South Korea, the flag of Thailand, the flag of Singapore, the flag of probably France and Germany and Ghana, and then like way in the corner is like Japan. and you figure it's karate, and that's super Japanese. So yeah, so that was a little bit awkward to see. But I gotta say, if you don't care, if you're so bored, if you don't want to think, if you just don't give a crap about what you're about to watch this movie. Because I don't know why, I don't see how someone could not really enjoy it knowing that it's garbage. But it's not a bad smelling garbage. It's like if you put it in a garbage bag that's scented.
It's good garbage.
It's good garbage. So I'm totally giving this movie a thumbs up and just saying, just get ready for stupid. Because you're going to get a whole lot of it.
I've only seen a couple reviews of it. I'm sure. I think Nostalgia Critic at some point, and probably somebody else. So I feel like I've seen the movie in a way, but not that recently. Like, so who was the bad sensei? Was it Beau Bridges?
No, Beau Bridges was his father.
Okay,
I don't know who the bad sensei is, but I can probably find out pretty
Joe
quick.
Piscopo.
Who?
Joe Piscopo.
No. All right, so let's see. Oh, maybe it was.
Yours wasn't Dana
Wait.
McKellar, so
Was it Joe Piscopo?
probably Joe Piscopo normally plays like a heavy in movies.
I can see what the guy looks like, but I can't. I can't put my I can't like look at the pictures of the people and figure out who it is. And I'm trying to get like the internet to help me, and it's not
Internet,
wanting me to help
internet,
me.
help me, internet.
So
Wide Webby, please, World Wide Webby, will you help me?
I don't know who it is.
I'm asking
Sorry.
the
Who are you asking?
internet.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'm trying to
Joe
do the internet.
Piscopo. Joe Piscopo portrayed as Kelly Stone's overbearing and aggressive father who punishes his son into being a bully and serves the film's primary real-world antagonist against Barry's imagination sequences.
And you know, there's another one that just came to mind that I want to point out that's a really good actor was the guy that does a PE teacher. Because because Barry goes into this big fantasy and all of a sudden he's like this Nazi German guy. And he does that so well. And he comes back as a PE teacher and he's just like that bossy PE teacher, that bossy jerk PE teacher, but also conservative at the same time. So those two actors make this movie good enough to where you're going to enjoy it, but it's still bad enough to where you're going to sit there and going, I can't believe I'm enjoying this.
So you got a thumbs up from you?
It actually gets a thumbs up from me.
Cool. All right.
So with that, I think we're going to get to our actual topic now.
Yes.
Which I don't even know what this topic was to be exact.
It all centers, I think, around movies that are based off of this one movie or series, video game series that are based off this one movie that had movies made of their own. Which one of them stars the same guy that was in the movie that started the whole thing, and the other one is a series where he was supposed to be in it?
Or just fighting movies. Let's just call it fighting movies because that's just way too.
Or was it called fighting movies? Okay.
Let's call it do.
Are we ready?
Right. So I'm ready. Let me get it up. And oops, that's not the right one. There it is.
Bloodsport is a 1988 American martial arts film directed by Newt Arnold and starring Jean-Claude Van Damme in his breakthrough role. The film follows Frank Dukes, an American martial artist who travels to Hong Kong to compete in the Kumite, an underground full-contact fighting tournament. Facing increasingly dangerous opponents, including the ruthless Chung Lee, Dukes must rely on his training, discipline, and resilience. Though loosely based on claims by martial artist Frank Dukes, the film's factual accuracy has been widely disputed. Despite this, Bloodsport became a cult classic, praised for its fight choreography and for launching Van Damme's international career. This movie, okay, so this is the movie that a lot of video games either seem to be inspired by. I think. You got first of all, Chung Li looks like Piston Honda. Whether or not Piston Honda was around first or Chung Li was around first, I really don't
Well,
know.
just the name itself, Chung
What's that?
Li. Just the
What's
name
that?
itself, Chung Li, it just sounds like Chun Li.
Yeah, yeah. So like you got I mean movies based on what we're on games we're going to talk about. With Street Fighter is loosely based off of this. And then Mortal Kombat is loosely based off of this, along with a few other movies, including like Big Trouble in Little China, and all that stuff. But this is one of the movies that they pull a lot of inspiration from, and it's just it's a great movie. Um, it's great in not being. It's like it's not spectacular. It's just great because it's good storytelling. It's probably I would say the editors probably have a lot to do with how good the movie ended up becoming because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff they had to edit around. You would think that the worst person in the whole movie would be Sean Claude Van Damme, but it is not. It is the kid who played young Sean Claude Van Damme.
Thank you. That's where I was gonna go to. He is like the worst actor I have ever seen in my life.
The overdub of him having the Belgium accent that ruins it even more. It actually adds it to the point where it's absurd and makes it almost good. It because of how absurd it is.
See,
Like,
I thought like the part where the guy that his friends leave and leave him there, and he's kind of like looking around. I thought he was ready to like do the robot or something because he was such a bad actor.
yeah, he was horrible doing that, and then you hear like that. Oh, I have he had that accent of the, and then it's so obviously an overdub. I'm like you couldn't find a French actor. Or maybe they did and he couldn't speak English right, so they had to go and overdub him anyway. I don't know. But yeah, he was the worst in the whole film. Um, but I watched this movie like a couple years ago too. I forget that there's a training montage, and it's actually a huge chunk of the movie. Like you think the whole thing's just the Kumite, but it's not. The Kumite is like the second half of the film, but everything does lead up to it. And I think it's just a well put together film. I think this is good writing, good editing, good production, wrapped wrapping around mediocre actors that they're able to pull it together because of how good everything else is. Makes it a good film. So thumbs up.
Can you do the Chung Li for me? Can you give me the "You're next"?
You're next. Oh, that's another one I got overdubbed too. Another obvious overdubbing.
Mhm. Okay, so Bloodsport. Yes, I think this is an enjoyable movie. Um, I don't think Jean Claude Van Damme is a great actor in general, but he works well enough in this. Um, I do enjoy it, but I know I'm not going into Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I really liked about the movie is that you didn't get just okay, this guy does kung fu and this guy does kung fu. This guy does tai chi, this guy does judo. You can see the absolute inspiration for Street Fighter in this with especially with the fight where it's the sumo guy versus the one guy who thinks he's a monkey.
That guy
And
was awesome. I was gonna bring him up too. That
yeah,
was like just watching him fight where he's rolling around all over the place and
yeah,
yeah, fighting like a monkey.
yeah. And I'm sitting there going, dude, this right here is E Honda versus Blanca. There's
Yeah.
no way around it. And you can, and I love how it's just all these different fighters. You had Muay Thai. You had two guys I think were doing Muay Thai, and I got them confused throughout the whole movie. Um, but they do such a great lineup, and then you have the guy Nerds, who's just the all-out brawler. Um, now he's kind of creepy because they're like, anytime, any place, if you need to be stuffed, just bend over and I'll be there. It's like that kind of creepy friendship. I think that kind of ruins it a little bit.
And it's all because he was walking past him when he was playing karate in the arcade game, and he beat him in the karate game, and he was
Karate
like,
champ. Yeah.
"Karate champ." That's thank you, karate champ, and he's like, all of a sudden they're buddies over
Mhm.
that,
Well, I can
and
see that. I can see getting buddies over a video game, but being like butt buddies over it, I mean, that went a little too far.
he didn't say that. He said, "If you need me, I'll be there."
I know, but it's like they're like, "I love you, man. I love you too. Now slip me the tongue." And then that's kind of what it felt like to me. So, but
They did have that woman in there too, so maybe they went and it was just,
so okay, gotcha. So he was a piece of white bread. The other was a piece of white bread, and she was a meat inside. And that's the second time I've used that reference tonight.
at least you got the bread color right this time.
The bread father,
The bread color.
the bread color. Okay,
Jake Cartwright.
That's- the bread father. I'd watch that movie. But so,
Rated R for returning.
but this is one of those movies that you don't really go wrong watching it.
Yeah.
I do think the part where he gets the stuff in his eyes, he's like, "Ah!" and doing all that. I mean, that's a little over the top. I mean,
If
he
you
sounds
watch
like a
wrestling, though, it's the same as he did it like how they did with wrestling, where you have to like play it off. But
yeah,
that's why he had all that training earlier in the movie, where he was learning how to set the table and pour tea blindfolded. And my
yeah,
wife was so impressed
yeah.
watching him as he's pouring tea, and I'm like, wow, she is way impressed by this. Number one, how
She's
many times?
happy that she doesn't have to do it herself anymore.
Yes, like, hey, we have a blind servant now. Cool.
Exactly. But I got to point out the most banger part of this movie, and that's the song where it's like "Kumite, Kumite, Kumite." That's so awesome.
I know the music's awesome. I was actually looking at the soundtrack, and it's not digital. This is one of those movies that almost has fallen through the cracks because it's number one, there's no 4K release of this yet. Number two, the Blu-ray is pretty much out of print. You can only get a DVD of it if you want to buy it physically. So if you want anything higher quality, you have to get it digitally. And which I do. I have an HD. I have an HD copy digitally on
Mm,
Vudu. But
mm,
I ended up watching my DVD copy. I'm gonna rather watch it off my home server.
yeah.
And I was looking at the prices, and the prices are actually going pretty high. I mean, for a Blu-ray, they're not in the hundreds. They're like $20-$30, which
Yeah.
for a Blu-ray of a movie that is from 1988,
Mhm.
I don't see a lot of people willing to pay that much for a movie that's old, where it's not as like it's not First Blood. It's not like some super memorable movie that like, yeah, you want to see Bloodsport, but you don't care if it's in high definition. I don't really
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only one of the three movies that we watched for this particular part of the program that wasn't in HD.
I
Actually, you know
think
what?
it's probably
We
better
watched
that it
two
isn't.
other movies on YouTube and they were in HD as well. So this is the only non-HD movie we had this week.
Yeah, so you people, you want to watch this movie in as bad quality as you can. So find this like a TV version of a
Up
VHS
yeah.
tape that was recorded and played 70, 100 times and got lines all through it and skipping in the screens.
Yep.
4:3. Watch it that way
That's how
because
you
it just makes it
take the
better.
movie in order to get the full blown. No, I'm not saying that in that case. I'm just saying, like, in order for the movie to work, though, you don't need it to be like a spectacular. I mean, it would be nice if I had it in 4K. In fact, I wish it was out in 4K. But
I know, but it just feels like this movie needs to not be that because it's just enjoyable just as how I don't want to say bad it is, but just how blood sport it is.
mm. So you're saying
So
like maybe it should be dirty because it was blood sport. It should
yeah,
be.
it feels like that, those garage wrestling videos.
Mm.
And it
Even
needs
like
to stay that
backyard
way.
wrestling, but yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw out a thumbs up for this one.
All right. Yeah, I think Bloodsport, like, it's right up there with Top Gun of like man films.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those movies I think I want to say this movie's a classic, but I can't fully explain why, other than you're just gonna sit there and enjoy it.
All right. So you got your quarters?
You got your quarters, and the next one is now up.
Street Fighter is a 1994 action film based on the video game series by Capcom, directed by Stephen E. D'Souza. The film stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Colonel Guile and Raul Julia as the villainous George General. I screwed up again. The villainous General M. Bison. The plot follows an international military effort to stop Bison, a dictator who has taken hostages and seeks global domination. Guile leads a mission to infiltrate Bison's fortress, aided by various fighters inspired by characters from the video game franchise. The film received largely negative reviews for its tone and deviations from the source material, though Julia's performance was widely praised. Over time, it has developed a cult following for its campy style and memorable one-liners. Mike?
Okay, so I'm thoroughly convinced. You cannot talk me out of this. I'm thoroughly convinced this movie was actually written and directed by Tobias and Boone, because they anally plowed through everything Street Fighter, and not in a good way. They could not have gotten everything so wrong. I mean, you've got Chun-Li the reporter, you've got E Honda the Hawaiian, you've got Balrog, who's one of the big villains, is a cameraman, and all of a sudden he's a boxer cameraman. You've got Dulcian, they're just like threw in as a scientist because they had to. They did the same thing with DJ, they just threw him in. You put Zangief as a villain because you want him stupid. You got Cammy and of course Guile, Jean-Claude Van Damme as the American. And T-Hawk is like one of the scrawniest guys in the movie. And I think the only thing he has, he's like, my ancestors tell me they're here, or some stupid line like that to make him sound Native American. Then you've got the real problem. Sagat and Vega, which has an extremely big reason why he wears a mask. Because Vega is a narcissist. And he does not want his face ruined because he thinks he is the most handsome man in the world. Yet, half of the fights in this movie, he was not wearing his mask. Then you have Sagat, which is the tallest character, who's like the shortest in the movie. On top of that, you have Ryu and Ken, the two biggest characters in the game, are criminals. And to make matters worse, Sagat and Ryu, who have the biggest rivalry in the whole freaking game series, you have Ken fight Sagat while Ryu's fighting Vega. I am totally convinced that Tobias and Boone sabotaged this movie just to make it this bad. And I'm just going to, I don't even want to talk more about this movie because it sucks balls so bad that I'm just going to say I'm giving this such a thumbs down that Ben, I don't give a crap what you say. You gave it a thumbs down too. And everybody listening to this gave it a thumbs down.
It's a gravitational pull of your thumbs down pulled everybody else's thumbs down.
This movie sucks.
Okay.
Now it's yours, Ben.
Oh, wow. I threw out all my thoughts of this having really any following of the actual game series and actually had fun watching it this time through
It
because
still sucks.
I didn't take it seriously at all. I loved my favorite thing in the whole thing, but Raul Julia is the best thing in the whole movie, like by far. Like even if the whole movie, Mike, you hate the whole movie, you have to think that Raul Julia, at least not knowing, he doesn't know video games. He didn't know video. The poor guy doesn't know. They didn't know video games. This was the last movie he ever did. He died right after it. He did an amazing job playing M. Bison. He was just because he had fun doing it. You know, he doesn't know the video game. Like I said, he doesn't know the video game. He's just got a script, and he's just following the script. And
I agree with you in a bit that he was just such cheesy fun,
yeah,
but I kind of feel sorry for him being that having this as his last movie.
I know. I mean, it should have been Adam's Family, but I mean, like an Adam's Family 3 or something. Like, not this. But yeah, it is what it is. I I saw the movie as being self-aware. They know it sucks, and that actually helped me enjoy it this time through. Like, wow, they actually kind of know this movie sucks. They're playing into it's how bad it is. Raul Julia is floating around on that floating thing of his, and you see the his control for it, and it's literally the controller board for the Street Fighter 2 video game arcade game. It has 2 control sticks, 2 sets of 6 buttons. It's got the
See,
picture of the
I
world
didn't
map
realize
on
that.
it. It might just be one stick and 1 set of buttons, but still, it looks like the Street Fighter 2 arcade machine, and I
I
thought that
didn't
was kind of funny.
I
What's
didn't
that?
even catch that, Ben. I didn't even realize that because I was too busy stabbing my eyes out so that I did
Oh,
not have to watch any more of
I
this.
went into this movie already knowing how bad it was, and I went in looking for what's good about this film, and I thought that the cheesiness and the self-awareness of how bad it was and the little Easter eggs that they threw into the game didn't make up for the fact that the movie is horrible. It's a horrible film. No, like I enjoyed it and how bad it was. So don't
I,
get
I
me
went
wrong.
I went into this movie knowing how bad it was, found out it's worse.
Are you looking forward to WWE Street Fighter? And I'm calling it that because of how many wrestlers are in the new Street Fighter
Oh
movie.
no. I don't know about that. It already looks like it's gonna be so bad.
I saw a preview of it and I was like, "Oh boy." I mean, at least they're trying to follow the story, but it's like how many like it's got 50 Cent and Cody Rhodes and oh, like and for wrestlers, they got Cody Rhodes, I think Roman Reigns might be in it. There's a whole bunch of wrestlers in it.
Yeah.
And which is perfect for it because you need somebody who can do a level of acting along with being able to. I mean, they're all probably better actors than Sean Van Damme. Um, Cody Rhodes was in the new Naked Gun movie, so it's not like he hasn't done a movie yet.
Mm.
Uh, and 50 Cent, I don't expect much out of Balrog, so whatever he does, he'll be 100% better than what I'm expecting. So uh, I don't know if it's gonna be any. I mean, we'll probably check it out. That's coming out in October,
Yeah,
or
I
is
believe
that?
September, October. I don't know. I kind of blocked it out, but I did see that there's a second trailer's out that makes it look a bit better, but it seems like it's all about Ken.
And you know what? They're doing a lot better with these video game movies. I mean, during lockdown, there was a video game movie that came out based on the next film we're gonna do. It was a remake of that. They did a much better job of sticking to the story from the video game, and I think they did a really good job of the remake of that particular movie, which I don't want to say it yet until we're ready to go into that.
Okay.
So, are we ready to go into that?
I don't know. Have you given your thumbs?
Oh, for Street Fighter? Well,
Yeah.
you already gave the thumbs down. I'm trying to do a thumbs up, but this pull keeps pushing it down, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
you got thumbs down, dude.
right, I'll give it a
Accept
thumbs."
it. This movie stunk.
Yeah, if you're looking for a really bad movie, or if you're just like a completist and you have to watch every Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, well, then there's your reason. Oh, Raul Julia. If you watched Adam's Family and Adam's Family Values, I mean, like, dude, this guy's really good. This Gomez Adams, he's awesome. Well, here's another movie with the same actor where he's pretty much over the top Gomez Adams, except now he's trying to take over the world.
Okay, so but I'm gonna say this. I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I was on to something, and now it's gone.
Oh
Darn
well,
it.
maybe
It'll
you'll
probably
remember.
come back to me.
Okay, are we ready for the next film?
I think we are ready for the next film. It's just killing me on what I was gonna say.
Uh,
But yeah, so next one is up.
Mortal Kombat is a 1995 martial arts fantasy film directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, based on the video game series by Midway Games. The film follows three fighters, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, who are invited to a mysterious island to compete in a tournament known as Mortal Kombat. The stakes are high as the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung seeks to conquer Earth by winning the contest. Unlike many video game adaptations of the era, Mortal Kombat was a commercial success and received mixed to positive reactions from fans to its faithfulness to the source material, energetic fight scenes, and the iconic electric soundtrack. It helped establish a template for future game to film adaptations and led to a sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So that was is this mine?
This is yours.
Okay, so I was mentioning before that there was a one in 2020 that came out, a Mortal Kombat movie that came out in 2020 that is even more faithful to the source material and is far superior to this movie or Annihilation. Also, Annihilation completely sucks. This movie set aside though was fun to watch. Remembering watching it when it came out and how it was considered at the time to be the best video game movie ever made at the time. I have to keep saying that at the time. Because at that time, we've only seen Street Fighter the movie and Double Dragon the movie might have been out at that point, and Super Mario Brothers, the original live action movie, was out. So you can see there wasn't much of a good track record of them doing well with these video game movies. But then Mortal Kombat came out, and I believe around the same time, Lara Croft Tomb Raider came out, showing that they actually can do halfway decent job with some of these video game movies. Well, I mean, I say halfway decent. They're better than the movies were, but not as good as they're going to get. So I actually do enjoy the Mortal Kombat movie. Like I said, the soundtrack is epic. It's just you hear it and it's always in your head from now on. And also they used it in all the promotion stuff for Mortal Monday. And if you have Mortal Kombat on Sega CD, you can watch in glorious 120p video with 16 colors or 64 colors. You can watch the commercial anytime you want.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody captured that and put it on YouTube when actually there's like a VHS copy of the same commercial where it looks 100% better. That's also on YouTube. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. I'm curious what you have to say, Mike, and there is more that I'd like to say, but I want to see where you go with this. So thumbs up from me.
So I have this theory in life that the worse the one medium is, the better the other medium of the um same what's the word I'm looking for? Same title, same uh not genre, whatever the subject is.
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Like, what is Street Fighter? What is Mortal Kombat? What is
Franchise.
franchise? Yes, thank you. Um, so I'm actually gonna say I don't like Mortal Kombat video game, but I kind of enjoyed the movie. I'm not gonna say it's award winning. I think it's more in the line of enjoyable but forgetful.
Did you like Billy Madison's teacher? Sonya
Billy
Blade.
Matt.
Sonya Blade, the same actress as who plays Sonya Blade. She plays Billy Madison's one of his teachers as becoming his love interest.
I don't remember Billy Madison all that much because not only was I stabbing my eyes out at Billy Madison, I was also stabbing my ears out.
Oh, well, then you don't remember, like, you think, I want to touch the hiney. That's the girl from that scene.
Yeah, see that Adam Sandler in that movie is like the worst Adam Sandler that's ever existed. So, but um, I don't know. It's I don't think there's a problem with watching Mortal Kombat. There's a problem with realizing you've watched Mortal Kombat because I watched it and I'm like, okay, I got quite a bit to say, and now I don't have anything to say. Um, I think that they pushed out a lot of like Kano came out too quick and was out. Sub Zero and Scorpion, I think they blow through those. Reptile, was also rushed. I feel like a lot of these the character in this movie, they get rushed, and I feel and they should have more fight sequences than they actually have, because it's focusing too much on Johnny Cage, Sonya, and Liu Kang.
Mm.
I think that's one of the problems with it, because when I played Mortal Kombat, and my character was Johnny Cage, but I also like Scorpion, and I put up with Kano, and they didn't do much with Raiden, but you kind of see why they didn't do too much, knowing who Raiden technically is. Um,
Well, you got a character like number one, even in the game, you have a character who is the god of thunder. He should be the
yeah,
most overpowering character in the entire game.
yeah, exactly. So
He
they
really
can't
should.
really do much with him.
Yeah, but they have to come up with like some kind of like, well, he's very respectful of the rules.
Mhm. I think there were two main issues. Was Goro was super cheesy.
Mm.
Um,
The Goro was
and
horrible.
yeah,
I remember watching it and I was like, they really should have. It's New Line Cinema, and this was before they got absorbed by Warner Brothers, I believe. So this was like when they like are making the money with their doing everything with their own money.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe they couldn't afford this, but this is when you call Jim Henson Productions
Yeah,
and you tell Jim Henson, "Hey, can you bring this Goro thing to life and let them do it?" Or
yeah,
Industrial
exactly,
Light and Magic. You
exactly.
you have to pay the extra money and get the people, they get the pros to do this.
Mhm.
Get the people who have a proven track record of amazing movie after amazing movie. You know who did the special effects for the Star Trek films?
No
The
idea.
same people who did the special effects for Star Wars. Because
Mm,
even though they're competing brands, they can still see that Industrial Light and Magic, which is part of the Lucasfilm collective, which owns Star Wars, they basically went to their competitors' owners and said, "Hey, we know you're the best at this. We
mhm.
want to use you."
Money,
You know,
money, money, money.
I know they probably charged them way more than they charged for making Star Wars, but,
But
but that's the
getting
reason why Star Trek movies, even though some of them are insanely boring, which is the problem with some of the Star Trek movies, is some of them are boring, and the ones that are filled with actions are usually the best or better films. Those movies have amazing special effects though, because they went to the people who do good special effects. The people who made Mortal Kombat hired who they could.
yeah, exactly. And Goro shows that. So the other character I had an issue with was, I believe it was Melina. I don't know if it was Melina or Katana, that or what
Katana,
was her
I
name.
believe. Is she the good one or the bad one?
I thought they were both bad.
Well, who's the one that Liu Kang has an interest in Katana that becomes a quote
Yeah.
unquote love interest, and she ends up becoming part of their team at the end, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have a problem with this, not because of how they depicted the character, which I think was off, but because they actually had her in.
Hmm.
I don't think being that she didn't appear until the second game, either all or none. So where's my Baraka? Exactly. So with that, I'm going to give. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to give this a thumbs up, but my thumb is at a 45-degree angle.
It's probably the gravitational pull of your thumbs down for Street Fighter is forcing it to
Yes,
go down.
it, it it's fighting it. It's absolutely fine. No, I I I I say this is better than it is worse, but I don't fully say that this is really worth watching.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's like this is a good video game movie, but if someone went and said, "Hey, give me a good video game movie based off of Mortal Kombat," I would point them towards the 2020 film.
Yeah. Well, you just said it right there. It's a good video game movie, but is it a good movie? And there's a difference.
Yeah, it's better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I still don't I've seen 3 times and I don't remember any of it, which shows that
Mhm.
my brain just like dumped it completely out.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like, oh, this gets filed with trauma.
Mm. So with me being done, Ben, was there something you wanted to add now? Because you're waiting on me.
Um, No, I was just I wanted to see if you rang any bells for anything I really wanted to talk about. It has it has some classic scenes, and I mean, if you're somebody who really likes the Mortal Kombat series, I would maybe recommend that you do watch it.
Yeah.
There's so much Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of Mortal Kombat media that came out. First of all, when the video game came out, they had a comic book that you could
Mhm.
only get if you mailed in for it, and you only see the mail-in ad if you're at the arcade and it came up while you happen to be there.
Mhm.
So I don't know how many people got that comic book, but I would assume it's probably a bit of a collector's item because I don't think a lot of
Yeah,
people got
probably no.
it. Yeah.
I will say that the characters in this movie compared to Street Fighter are very well done.
Mm. Yeah, it's way more, I mean, even though it's still they still took a lot of liberties, it's more accurate to the source material than Street.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because it seemed like you know what Street Fighter kinda hit me as a movie that wasn't supposed to be Street Fighter, they just had a script,
Yes.
and they just threw the Street Fighter name on it, which is not unheard of.
Yeah,
That happens actually quite often, and it's usually you can tell because the movie has nothing to do with the source material.
exactly.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is just one of those classic video game movies that we grew up watching, and I bet if we didn't watch it when we were children or teenagers with this one, we probably wouldn't care for it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a movie of like, oh, dude, we have to go check out the old Mortal Kombat movie. Nobody would be saying that.
Yeah, you kinda had to be there during that time, I think, to really accept this movie fully.
Yeah. And that can lead us down to like talking about the Lara Croft Tomb Raider movies at some point if you wanted to do that as well. And that's another one where the first one's pretty good and the second one's like
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll get to that. Maybe we'll do some more video game movies in the future.
yeah, there's also a remake for that too. There's a Lara Croft Tomb Raider that came out in 2017 or 18 that's
Mhm,
actually pretty decent.
mhm.
The only weakness I found with that movie was their sound mixing was horrible. I couldn't hear shit.
Yeah, gotcha. Kinda like Tenet.
Yeah, like, I couldn't hear it, and I hate that. I'm like, "That's bad sound mixing," you know?
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
understand.
usually the first thing you'll see when you see a movie where they have to skimp on stuff, the first thing they usually skimp on is the soundtrack,
Yeah.
which, unfortunately, that would be, like I mean, they really want those explosions, they can't afford a guy to go in there and make real music.
Which, to go back, is really good for Bloodsport. Kumite, kumite, kumite.
Kumite. Yeah, because that one is what I really think is that everything was built around trying to make Jean-Claude Van Damme as good as they could.
Mhm, yeah,
They knew what they knew who they had.
yeah,
Like, "Oh, shit. Oh god, okay, we have to work around this guy."
mhm, exactly.
Alright, so,
So with that, I think we are done.
yeah, what's coming up next week? Let's do a billboard.
Oh, shoot, what is coming up next week? It's, something to do with video games, I think.
Oh,
I
wait, no,
actually have to look this up, I wasn't prepared.
you're not prepared.
I am not prepared to do anything these days. I am just okay, so next week is why am I still doing this? Games and movies that you just had to finish, but you are not enjoying.
Oh, yeah, this does have to be current. This is just stuff like at during time that we have, yeah, we've played and it was just like, or
Yes,
watched
exactly.
or
Exactly.
anything where it's like, yeah. And that happens. That's like that's almost how school felt, you
Uh-huh.
know? Like, some people, like, they're ready to quit school and they only have, like, a couple months left, and it's like, "Dude, just finish it off."
And I'm going to foreshadow on one of those that will be mentioned next week. Somewhat. I'm not going to come out and say it, but it rhymes with the Bobbit.
It's one of those movies that what's the joke? The movie was so I watched it on an airplane, it was so bad that 3 people got up and left.
Yes, exactly.
And with that, the music is playing. The final word is